Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots. With me, as always, Johnny C., creator of Surrounded by Death. What's up, man?
What's up, man? We can just completely skip how I'm doing, and we'll go right into see how the campaigns are doing.
I've had a few texts with you, so I kind of know. There's a lot of personal things happening in the Cavuto household, right?
Craziest 30 days I've lived through in quite some time, but
yeah,
here, which is good.
Yeah, let's just say if you were a bad luck magnet, you were on full charge this last month. You know, like,
time.
Dude, I feel for you, man, and I've already texted you a few times, just letting you know. Yeah, I definitely want to talk to you a little bit after the show about it and just see how everything's going and just you know.
For sure.
But yeah, craziness, man. I'm I'm happy you made the show though. I mean, it's been a couple weeks. We got a couple cool creators. Good friend of ours, Jay Mooers, and new creator that we haven't been on the show before, Rich Ayala, who seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, and it was our very first guest. If we
you know, and almost like we've been doing this show 2 years now, roughly 2 years.
Started in 2020.
Okay, so yeah, but it also we started it around this time, right? It was like a May, June. So it's almost like a 2-year anniversary to have Jay back on the show.
I know, right? Cool. Yeah, it comes full circle.
And how I just remember that I can't even look at that first show because like how we just screwed. I didn't know what I was doing with the StreamYard and what's that?
We were very green then.
yeah. I feel like we've kind of
off. Now we're just a lime green. We're like we're an off yellow, maybe. I don't know.
Well. You know, it's weird, too. Like, we went from the first few months, like, you know, begging for guests, but now it's like we never have a shortage of them.
We gotta beat them with a stick.
We've had a double up, which is crazy. And, like, I was telling our guests backstage that, like, you know, I want to try to avoid doing doing the weekly thing, except now we have, like, the next 3 weeks doing shows live, so
for sure.
But cool. Next week, next Tuesday, we got Pete Sametti coming on, so
which will be fun. That'll
be great. You know, I gotta make sure too. Like, I gotta check with him this weekend and make sure he's still coming on. Well, just because like he said
tentative Pete Sametti next Tuesday.
Yeah, tentatively. Well, the thing with Pete is he's so busy, and I know. He just got the spring campaign Alterna books today. So
okay.
I know that kind of supersedes everything he does, so it's like, which, you know, is good, you know, that he takes care of the readers. What's that?
Those campaigns are like, they're big campaigns. It's not like a little thing that he's
massive.
You know, doing on the side. That's a lot of work. Like, running a campaign is a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
And for
dude bangs them out.
Back to back to back is quite impressive. I'd like to, you know, definitely, if he comes on next week, I'd love to kind of get an idea how he mitigates his schedule.
Well, it's crazy, and he's got right now. He just went live with the summer campaign yesterday.
But don't go over there. Stay here. And watch
right. And then he's still got King Cryptid going, which is insane, you know. So the dude is legit, man. Hardest worker, easily in comics, you know. But yeah, we'll hopefully have him on next week. If not, it'll be a nice week off. You know, exactly. Or maybe we could get him on another day. But while we're talking about the campaign, let's take a look. Mighty Mascots 7, 8, and 9. As you can see, I just added the video to our countdown, along with the Plastic City video. So I'll probably run that for the next couple of weeks until Plastic City hits, and then eventually I'll replace it with the real campaign video, you know.
When's the campaign launching now? Do we know? Do you have a date yet or what?
So talking to Pete, he was like, you probably don't want to launch it before Plastic City. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in that week before the show. I start getting hit with emails left and right, you know. What about this? What, did I get a table? All this stuff, you know.
I can't use my table.
Yeah, exactly. Or I can't do the show, and can I get a refund? Get all of that in the last minute. I decided to probably launch the week after, like maybe the following Tuesday. And I think that's what I'm going to try to shoot for. The campaign, as far as putting it together, I'm still waiting for some things, but I'm pretty much, I would say if I had to put a percentage on it, I have the 75% of it done. I have the video. I have
look at that boxer bear. I love it.
Yeah, is that great? That's do you know Steve Mardo? Do you know Steve Mardo?
The name. I've heard the name.
Yeah, he's one of the variant covers, and this is the first one I've gotten, and it's amazing. So I love this image.
Yeah, I love it.
I got who else? I got Ryan Santos doing a cover, which I'm dying to see.
Ryan did my trading cards for Surrounded.
Yeah, and those came out so amazing. Good. And in the third really cover, I'm dying to see. Oh yeah, his work is unbelievable. And he pitched me an idea on what he wants to do, and it sounds amazing. He wants to do something painted, so I can't wait to see what that looks like. And then the third artist, Victor Gautaman, is a guy I went to Kubert school with, who works in advertising. So he doesn't really do comics anymore, but amazing artist. So I can't wait to see what he does. So, so 7, 8, and 9. Lots of first appearances of characters here, and did I tell you? So this character Grunt Calhoun, who is like the McGruff, the crime dog. So I was trying to think of a sticker that I could do for the pre-launch bonus. So if you sign up, you get a sticker, and I'm gonna do a riff on the "Take a Bite Out of Crime." So I'm gonna do. Isn't that great? Yeah. So I have his head, and instead of like. You remember the old "Take a Bite Out of the Crime"? It used to have the chomp marks in the C. Yep. So my tagline is "Put a leash on crime," and I have like the E with like a leash around it. So,
that's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, is that great? And then it's gonna have his head there, like kind of like the old McGruff ad. So that's gonna be the sticker. Nice. So if you guys sign up for that. And make a purchase, you'll get that sticker. And I'm only going to print those, enough to fill the campaign. So it's a little rare item, So that's going to be cool. So yeah, I can't wait. These 3 issues are going to be amazing,
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm already getting artwork too from Ian and Anton. I kind of started them on it so I could have some images for the campaign.
Yeah.
But it's very slow going. You know how it is when you don't have campaign money. It's like
hurry up and wait.
Yeah, exactly. I can wait 3 weeks and I can pay you for 1 page. You know how it is. So, so I'm really excited about that. Before we bring our guests in tonight, let's take a look at the chat. See who we got in here. We got, of course, my wife moderating things. Good evening, all. Amy's Birdhouse. Oh, we got Adam Warlock with us tonight. What's up, buddy? Ara's with us. What's up? Ara, thank you so much for the Alterna auction this past week, and he bought some stuff from us. Oh, he bought this, Johnny. Amy made this. It was really cool. Like that comic from Alterna, the Wolf and Batsy.
Oh, yeah.
Amy made this, and Ara bought it. So I should have that in the mail tomorrow, Ara. I was trying to, get the sketch cards done before I mailed anything out. So I will. I'm going to be trying to mail everything out tomorrow and Friday, so everybody can have it next week.
Awesome.
And then who else we got here? Johnny C, Adam Warlock, Harry with us as always. Is it a hernia?
Oh, he's talking about all the personal shit I'm going through.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to get into.
The last thing I need right now.
Actually, in some cases, you may want that instead of what's going on.
I'd rather prefer the hernia.
Oh my god. Ara says one of the best cons. So they must be talking. Oh yeah, plus what do you say? Plastic City looks like such a fun con. I wish I could visit you this year in person. Hopefully 2023. Dude, that would be awesome. Let us know. Johnny's usually there, and a lot of the Alterna crew is usually there, so it is a fun show. And then Ara was saying one of the best cons. And Amy said, yes, Plastic City seems to have good local buzz in the Twin Cities. The community is ready for it as well as the fans. Yeah, Johnny, I'm getting a lot of buzz. I think we're going to be really busy this year, so
it's
going to be awesome.
I'm worried because I'm going to need to probably order extra books because I got San Diego the next week. You might want to do Plastic City. I might just need to place an advanced order for extra books just in case anyway.
I would, dude. I would. I really would, just in case, I'm anticipating because people are locked down in this area for a couple of years. They're really hungry for stuff. Yeah. Like we did great at that street festival a couple weeks ago, so it's like that was a good sign of what's to come, And then Oliver is going to be on the show in a couple weeks. Yo, bring out the Roach Balls. Nice. Yeah, the Kryptonol guys are coming back in a week or two. They got a new book coming out soon.
So was it 2 weeks ago when I opened up the stack of Kickstarters, the Kryptonol's book was in that stack.
Yeah, me too. Impressive. I did an unboxing of it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I can't wait to read it.
The stuff they gave you. And then I'll just answer this. Any sketch tiers on the upcoming Mighty Mascots Indiegogo? Yes. Both me and Amy only, though. So we're going to have sketch card tier. Sketch card by either me or Amy. Full color, pencils and inks. And also a tier for sketch covers by either me or Amy. And it's on a Mighty Mascots #1, plain copy. So you can get, commissions from us. So that'll be fun. And they're reasonably priced, like a normal commission. I think we did the sketch cards at either 25 or 35, and then the sketch covers are like 75, I think, or something like that. Yep. And then, like I said, full inks, full pencils, and full colors. So it's totally worth it, So
that's way worth it. That's a great price for that type of custom cover. I admitted I wanted to do sketch covers on my campaign. I was like, I just got too much to manage here. So I think
it's easier because it's me and Amy can do the artwork, and we can kind of plan it out. So it's a little easier. But if I brought in like Ian and Anton, that would be kind of a nightmare for me to try to coordinate them shipping it from Indonesia to the person. And then it's too much. I tried to do that last campaign, and he did get it here, but it was like, if I had hair, it would be gone. I'd be pulling my hair, right? You're trying to figure out if it's going to get here or not, So, but all right, now we got all that fun stuff out of the way. Let's bring in tonight's guest. We're going to start first with returning guest, Mr. Jay Mooers. What's up, buddy?
Wiping the dust off. I've been, sitting over here for 2 years.
Been 2 years, dude.
Let me back in.
No, it's awesome to have you here, man.
He never left. He was just in the green room the whole
I've
time.
just been waiting, guys. I asked for a drink 2 years ago. Could get that over here?
And every time I saw the link, I was like, not yet. Time isn't right.
There was a bowl of grapes when he first started. Now it's just a bowl of raisins.
Yeah, right.
I hate raisins, so come on.
And then guest number 2, which is new to the show, Mr. Rich Ayala. What's up, Rich?
Hey, Rich.
How's it going? Welcome to Indie Comics Relay.
Rich, you're muted right now.
Oh yeah, Rich, you're muted.
Oh, snap. I just thought he was a mime.
Rich, take 2. Take 2. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for the invite, dude.
I've been seeing your book around. It looks batshit crazy, but it looks awesome, and I definitely want to get into it. I want to play the videos and everything.
Awesome, thank you.
But I also want to talk to both of you guys at the same time and as a group here. You know, one of the things we always start off this our discussions with our guests on this show is we always love to know origins, like how you got into comics. Like, was there like a comic book or a movie or a TV series or something, cartoon that you saw when you were a kid that kind of put you on the path to wanting to be like a comic creator? Is there something that you guys can point to? Or I'll start with Rich first.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, I remember the first comics I had were some type of like X-Men comic and some other shit with some kid in a wheelchair, and I can't really remember it. But then I think what really wanted me to like really propelled me into wanting to make comics is when I first found out that Ninja Turtles was actually like a comic book, you know?
Right, yeah.
I love the cartoons, and I love, you know, the other different types of cartoons, even shit that you weren't supposed to watch as a kid for cartoons, and that was a heavy influence. But when I found out that Ninja Turtles was an actual comic book and that it was like gnarlier than the cartoons, I think that's what was really like.
Yeah. Was it the old Eastman and Laird ones too? Was it like the originals?
I'm not sure if it was the old Eastman. It was a particular cover with Raphael, and he was hunched over. And I'm not sure if it was like a Usagi Yojimbo crossover.
Oh, okay.
Somebody else, but his shell was all cut up, and there was like blood and snow or some shit like that. It was like one of those.
Oh wow, yeah.
So
yeah, and you realize too, like how much more violent the comic was than the cartoon. Like and you look at the comic or the cartoon, and it's like all they're really hitting and destroying is like Mouser robots, you know, and like there's never like blood. There's never, you know what I mean? That's sort of like why I found comics too, is like I remember like being into Spider-Man cartoon, and then like and finally reading the comic and being like, wow, this is like, you know, like someone died in the issue, and I was like, you know, wow, you don't see that in Spider-Man and his amazing friends, you know. So it was always felt like comics were a little more adult than the cartoons where they're based on, you know. So
there was more gravitas in the book.
Oh, definitely.
You find in like a cartoon adaptation. I think it wasn't until X-Men the animated series where comic adapted cartoons had a series. Like Morph died in that opening episode. Spoiler alert, everybody.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Sorry, Jay. But like you didn't see that in cartoons. The only time you saw a character die in a cartoon before that was Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and Robotech, but that's still like anime, I guess, you know.
That's more anime. This was like, you know, the US based American, you know, meant for America cartoon, characters dying. It's just unbelievable.
Yep.
Definitely. What about you, Jay?
Sorry about that.
Oh no. So I honestly probably started with more comic strips than actual comics. I collected everything Garfield as a kid. It was Garfield. Then I fell into the rabbit hole of Calvin and Hobbes and Far Side, and I guess that's where I started having interest. Actually, when I was a kid, I was writing my own comic strips.
Same.
My character looked eerily kind of like Odie. And I don't know how that
Dude, that's funny that because Garfield was my thing too when I was a kid before I discovered comics.
Yep. And then, you know,
and everything I drew was like Garfield, like with the big eyes, and then, you know.
Yeah, you have the 2 circle eyes and the whole thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then you know, you hit puberty, and then you start noticing the women of comic books.
And all of a sudden, the Image comic books take on a whole new level.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's true.
But honestly, like, and it's always kind of weird that I say this because I'm in the comic book circuit and I make comic books, but I really didn't collect comic books until I was actually making them.
Interesting. And
I can envision young Jay Mooers reading Gen 13 with his bow tie spinning.
Woo! I like I picture as a child with a bow tie.
Harry says, I don't know. Firestar was pretty hot. She was. She was.
Not bad,
90s Rogue. 90s Rogue animated series. Hands down. Skin tight outfit.
I know I could drag this conversation right into the mud. Right?
Like, how hot is that?
Jay, back room. Going right in the green room again.
All right, guys.
Jay,
I'll be
out of
there
here.
for 2 reasons.
Yeah, right. Just kidding. Yeah, so, and I know, Jay, we didn't really have a proper interview the first time you were on the show because, like, I felt like our show was a disaster, and
That was me.
I don't know.
That was
What's
me.
that? That was you. But one thing I wanted. So, how did you guys, like, both of you guys? How did you guys kind of make the transition from just being like a fan of like comic books or comic strips into actually creating like comic books? Is like, was there a point in your life that you can point to or something that happened that kind of put you on that path? We'll start with Rich, I guess.
I'm sorry. I thought you were directing that question. So
Oh, sorry. I could go to Jay first if you need a minute to kind of think about it.
No, you just want to repeat that right quick again?
Yeah. Yeah, just sort of like, how did you kind of make that transition from being just like a fan of comics to like actually making comics?
All right.
Did you start drawing like at a certain age or?
Yeah, I started drawing like super young, but it was like, a lot of copying like other cartoons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like Disney type stuff, mainly like the more like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, or like the little minions in was it Sleeping Beauty or whatever that just followed the queen around. So I automatically had like favoritism towards like weird, creepy, weird little jacked up creatures and shit like that. So like amongst like one of my first like exposures to comics besides that Ninja Turtle was Simon Bisley's run on Lobo. And he did one, specifically, like I came across this when I was like in second grade, and it was him fighting some big ass jack dude. I forgot the names, but he had his brother in like one of those like fecal shit bags on the side, and the violence was just insane. The rendering was insane, and something like as a kid you shouldn't have come across, and I did. And then that was just like, yo, you can do this. Like that was the next extra level.
Like it opened you up your mind to like, hey, I could do this stuff. And I'm sorry, what's that? I mean,
just being exposed to that made me want to draw that type of shit, that type of style, that type of craziness, and I wanted more of it. So that kind of
were you in, like, I looked at, like, Johnny, did you look at his Roach Balls campaign at all?
I haven't yet. Actually,
no, okay.
Honestly, you caught me because I was looking at it right now.
Oh, okay. So the one thing I wanted to ask you if you were influenced at all, because looking at the artwork and everything, it reminded me of, like, MTV, like, liquid television, like the early 90s. Like, were you influenced at all by any of that? Like,
a good amount of it. They had the
were you really? Okay.
Show, yeah. So it was like the Max, the Head,
head
type shit. Was it?
And they also had those weird, like, just shorts, like on the liquid television.
Stop animation, all that types of stuff. Certain weird, like Nickelodeon cartoons. So we can throw like R. Crumb in the mix because I can see that a little bit. And also, did you ever see an anime called? I think it's called MFZ, but it's like motherfuckers. Like MFKZ. And,
it reminds me of that too a little bit. Like
what they're really grimy urban like, setting and whatnot.
But it looks like it's like graffiti come to life or something, like, you know what I mean? Like
Bill
it's just
Plimpton
like
too. Like just
what's
like
that?
Bill Plimpton over
Yes.
Very sketchy.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very Bill Plimpton. It has that very much style to it. Were you influenced by him at all? Like he used to be a lot on liquid television too. What's that?
I wasn't like a crazy direct like fan. But when I saw his stuff coming up as a kid, I was just like, whoa, I really like that sketch style and shit too. So which was like I went through different renditions of trying to make this comic happen over the years of like creating this.
Yeah.
Like the whole sketchier style is what eventually like kind of fell on that. So Bill Plimpton, like a Sam Keith, some another crazy artist. The way Bisley switches from super beautifully rendered, all that like oil paint to the next. I don't give a shit. I'm 12 years old. I don't care how this looks. Like that just amazes me because it still looks just as tight as this, exquisite type of art form and whatnot. So
yeah, Bisley is great. I wish he would do more stuff. Like you don't see him on enough comics anymore. He used to be one of those forces. Like whenever he did something, you were like, you had to stop and grab it.
Yeah,
you
definitely
don't see him much
stuff, but it's like, you don't see it as much.
It's like a cover here and there or something, right? Yeah. How about you, Jay? What how did you make the transition from just being a fan to drawing? Were you always drawing when you were a kid?
I was always drawing. But then I was actually writing, and that's kind of how I fell into comics. I think I told you the story before on the other one, but people who weren't listening 2 years ago and don't want to.
Yeah, we had no fans watching that. That's how I don't even think anyone's watched it since. It's just one of those, like, we were just starting out. We had 0 fans. It was like,
I think we did pretty good.
We did. We had fun. It was, it was just like hanging out, Yeah.
So my initial my switch over happened because I was writing a novel, and I had reached maybe 500 pages of writing, and at the time I was doing a lot of long drives for my day job. So I was thinking about what I was going to write a lot, and I realized I lost track of what I had thought of writing versus what I had written. And going back into a 500-page document to figure that out was so daunting to me that I just took that concept and I said, all right, forget it. I'm putting this in bite-sized chunks. I just took it, and I made it like a section 1, and it was my first issue of Autumn Gray, which was my first comic I ever did. So I figured, I'm going to have pictures in here anyway. I might as well make it more pictures and less words and break it down into bite-sized pieces,
Yeah,
So I created my first comic, and then, I sold it to my friends and family because I wasn't doing anything else with it, really. And then I had an extra box of copies, and someone introduced me to Free Comic Book Day, and they gave me a free table at a shop. I went there with my box of comics, sold out my box of comics, and I was like, oh, now I got to do number 2. And that's kind of how it all just started.
No kidding. So Free Comic Book Day. What year was this?
Oh God.
Was it before I met you in 2013?
Yeah,
I
didn't know any of you guys then.
The first show I met you at was that Jay Moulton one, right? The one that was in
the Rockingham Plaza.
Yeah, it was a Comic-Con inside of a
it was awesome.
Yeah, inside of a Greyhound racetrack. It was like,
actually, it was kind of a cool place to walk around.
Kind of a cool place. Weird place for a Comic-Con, but a cool place. Like, I kind of wish they still had the racetrack going while we were there. People could buy comics and then bet on Greyhounds. Would have been kind of cool. What'd you say, Johnny?
Bet on a triple Quinella.
Yeah. No, it was funny. That show was the first year I met Joe St. Pierre at too, and Jay Moulton, oddly enough, and then who else? There was a handful of people.
I think a lot of us. That was like one of those shows where we just all start because it didn't have a large crowd.
No,
so that's like the first time we all started congealing as a group of convention.
Yeah, like getting to know each other a little bit. Yeah,
you're the goo that goes in a Spam can.
Just like that.
That's exactly it.
Rich, do you have a relationship with Comic-Cons? Is there a show you do, or do you exhibit at different shows or whatever?
I've never participated or done any type of shows or Comic-Cons like that.
Really?
Little art shows and whatnot, selling paintings or prints of pieces I've done, or I'm a tattooer by day, pretty much. So
really? That's cool.
I've done like a couple tattoo conventions, but nothing of comic book related, which is something that I definitely I'm going to venture into.
Where do you live? Like what part of the country?
Rhode Island.
Oh, you're in Rhode Island. You're close by. Yeah, you're close by. I thought you were on the West Coast.
Yeah, no. There's a list of like the top 10 or 5 to 10 worst cities in Rhode Island and shit, I'm amongst like in one of those.
Well, come on, there's only 10 cities in Rhode Island.
So
I guess it could be worse.
So all right, so like less than that, like 3 to 5 worst.
It could be worse. You could be in Fall River, Massachusetts. No,
Hey.
All right, we're close. We're close, dude. Think about
Yeah,
I'm in Fall River, Massachusetts. Thank you, John.
So do you know Frankie B. Washington? Do you know Frankie
by
B?
reputation, not personally or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he lives in Rhode Island too, and he's done some work for me. He's a really good artist. Yeah, you should come to one of our shows at some point and hang out with us, or should try to do I would offer you a spot at my show, but everything's sold out at this point. But Plastic City Comic Con be perfect one to start with next year.
As soon as I
could probably send you a list of shows similar that may still have spaces available if you're interested.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're all up in this area, and we kind of do.
Stomping ground.
Yeah, so
Rhode Island's also our stomping ground. So
I would say
stop wherever we can, like a bunch of
do every
dinosaurs.
show that you can, but avoid Rhode Island Comic Con because it's kind of not a good show for comics.
Every time I have a conversation with somebody about Comic Cons, the first thing they bring up is, "Oh, do you do Rhode Island?" And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
And I have to kind of explain, like I have to go into the story of. Everyone has a story of Rhode Island, and I have to go into my story of Rhode Island again.
Yeah, it's hard to because people see it as a big deal because there's so many celebrities come, but that's also the same reason we fail at it.
If you're a person that's looking to buy a ticket to meet celebrities, then it's do
it's
it.
awesome.
It's exactly what you should go to.
But if you want to go down the one aisle that has comic artists, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, ugh. But yeah, if you also need a list of what shows to avoid, 3 guys here that can give you advice.
Probably make very similar lists.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
If you ever do a convention where the convention owner decides to leave and put his daughter in charge, you're in trouble.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And I was going to say, if you could get a free table at Rhode Island, it might be worth it, but it is a tough show for comic artists. Definitely is. So
honestly, especially when you're an indie comic artist, you want to go to a place where you can have conversations with people who come to your table. You don't want to be at a place with, where people are desperately spending an hour trying to get to the bathroom. Yeah. You want a place where they can stop at every table and talk because you have to sell your comic. People don't know your comic, so you need to be able to have that conversation. They need to be mentally able to have that conversation because they're not just desperately trying to get to a line for a certain celebrity and this isn't just Rhode Island. I honestly as a starting artist, you don't want to go to the big crowd show. It's going to cost you a lot. You can learn so much more at a quiet show. Heck, some of the best shows when you first start are the ones that nobody shows up to because suddenly you're networking with all the other guys there. You become, and that's what happened with all of us. Like the shows where you're not busy means that you network.
Yeah, you're on a personal basis where you can talk to them. It's not that crazy claustrophobic shit.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit of the opposite mind because I did a lot of the big shows. I still continue to do a lot of the big shows, and my biggest problem is I don't not do well at these big shows. They're just expensive to get to.
It's hard. It's harder to get there, and you have experience now, Johnny. You know how to.
Yeah, Johnny, you've been doing it for a while. Yeah, and same with Jay and me. We've been doing it for a while, so we know how to make money at those bigger shows. But
you have to rob people.
But you have to
shake people down.
Yeah. I tell you based off a monkey. A monkey works great.
So if that's the case, my first Comic-Con that I'll set up at, I'll just hire some goons to sit at the table with the hired monkey, and they'll just run people down.
I'll figure it out now.
Just shaking people down.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's cool you're a tattoo artist, and looking at some of the artwork here on Roach Balls, it really does show your tattoo hand kind of comes through in the artwork. I think that's very cool. I saw, what book was it? It was from Source Point Press. It was Ben Goldsmith's book. He had a entire comic that the artwork was like Sailor Jerry tattoo artwork. I thought that was just so very cool.
Yeah.
And I see, Roach Balls, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
We should put Roach Balls up on the screen so everyone can see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's bring it up.
Definitely. I want to take a look at both of your campaigns here. First, we got a few more people in the chat. We got Aerith with us.
Oh,
Brian, Balls of Roach, he said. Awesome.
Looking forward to that third tape.
Yeah, what's that? Right?
Looking forward to that third tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brian is a busy boy.
He is.
Rewind, Johnny.
Promiscuous Time Traveler says, "What's up, comic peeps? Good to see you." That's a new name I haven't seen before. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Jeff Holman. Hey, how you guys doing? Miss seeing y'all.
Those guys actually have an Indiegogo campaign running right now.
They
Oh,
do.
really?
Yep. For their TV
Film.
series,
Yeah,
based on
the
a film.
third episode.
Third episode
Very
of the
cool.
film based on their comic.
All right. So, I definitely want to. So check out. Was it Token with the Dead? Is that their
Token with the Dead on
Token with
Indiegogo?
on Indiegogo? So check that out. A little plug there for Jeff. Let's take a look at Roach Balls. This looks. I love the style right off the bat, Rich. I mean, I love this cover is amazing. So what's the premise of this comic? Like,
it's focused around this character. So
okay.
Take this out.
I
can keep myself. That's me.
You're right.
I hear a little feedback. Yeah.
Wonder if it's. Hang on. Let me try this.
Only
How's
one
it
who
sound
wasn't
now?
echoing was Keith.
Do you get it echoing now?
Yo, hello. Yep, I'm good now.
We're good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was the audio when I shared it with the audio. So if we play a video, I'll just redo it. Then I'll keep the audio off. Okay, here we go. All right. Do you get it now? Are you getting the feedback?
Nope.
No.
We're good.
Okay.
Nope, we're good.
All right. Cool.
So the comic book focuses around this little character, Sully Cucaracha. It's a very, you can tell it's a very cartoony type environment and shit. So I really lean into that. Like if Matt Fowler said it best, it's like if Garbage Pail Kids meet Sin City, or if I was to like put like I don't know, like Roger Rabbit on a bad like crack fucking hit or some shit like that.
This would be the result.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's and like Johnny said too about the whole tattooing thing. This is a little more like outside of the realm. Tattooing's often you got to keep within the lines, keep everything meticulous, perfect. This is a little more flexed. This is on that sketch style, very animated, where anything could like really and anything does happen in this world. So it just focuses around Sully, who's very much a bad guy. So there's no like him there's no redemption arc for this character. Okay. So I want to look forward to that. Like he's going to be a good guy, and it's just this character gets worse, and there's the environment he's in. It feeds into that. So there's no getting better in the environment. So Sully's not going to get better. He's just going to get worse, and that's better for him. So like you kind of just follow this like jacked up little antagonistic character through his like mischievous like first story. And in this first story, he kind of has a run-in with this little gang of misfits, right? That's actually based on a real event that happened in Providence some years back, where a bunch of kids hacked into the the little e-scooters that the towns make public for people.
Oh yeah.
Unlock them through an app. Yeah, well, these kids hacked them all, and a whole mob of them went around terrorizing like convenience stores, mobbing it, stealing shit, and attacking like pedestrians and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was wild. So I kind of based this little Grom weeb gang, or I made them into like weebs and stuff. We call little punks like that Groms around here, but like I just kind of made them all into like little weeb ripoffs and whatnot. So that's who he like gets involved with, and you kind of get to see like the environment, the residents of this environment. You kind of just is really settling you into this world. That's what the whole first book's about.
Awesome. And is it going to be a long-running series or a limited series?
No, I would like it to be a long-running series. I kind of feel like I've built this world where I can just make anything happen. So if I want to have like a super golden age heroic type character, I can kind of just like parody him or her,
and throw him right in.
I could do anything in this world. So, and there's a lot of ideas that I want to do with Sully and other characters as well. I kind of want to just keep it contained in this world. So
I do like the you know, like the world you created, just the backgrounds and the level of detail. I swear to God, it definitely reminds me of that, you know, MTV's Liquid Television stuff. Like this would have been one of the shorts on there, you know. It looks
Easily.
exactly like, doesn't it, Johnny?
Yeah.
Jay,
100%.
wouldn't you guys agree?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, if this was the 90s, this would have been
Into
a
my
cartoon on
90s
MTV.
childhood memories here with this thing.
Yeah, I love that.
For real.
and that's good. You know, that's the shit that I loved and motivated and inspired me. So, you know, I wanted to capture that essence because honestly, that was the best when a lot of cool content, original content, and people weren't afraid to do things and say certain things and experiment.
And like comic book artists and stuff were rock stars at that point, you know. So like,
it was an era where cartoons were still for kids.
Yeah.
So when you saw a cartoon that wasn't for kids, it was like, oh, this is cool. It's kind of dangerous. It's it's cool.
Yeah, I love that the guy's a villain too, and there's no redemption arc. It's just this is the world. Like in the, I'm just gonna throw you right in here with this asshole, you know. But that's part of the fun, right? Is it got like a funniness to it?
There's very much fun to it. It's like fun with a bite. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, look at this cute little. Ow, just fucking, you know, you got bit.
Yeah, right.
You still can't help but just keep like, So that's what it very much is. It's funny, you know. There's a lot of funny things, or at least what I consider funny, and what not to happen, and that does happen in the story. And you know,
I like some of the extras you got here too. Like, is this like a bookmark that you're giving away, or is
those were little the comic book, the Sunday funny paper type strips.
Okay,
that's my jam.
Like Hanson art boards. And I made like 3 little short stories, which I decided to, you know, put up for as an art tier on this. And I decided
that's a cool idea.
And it was heavily relied on just original art being sold and whatnot. And so that was a goal, and you know, I got that goal accomplished.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, cool. 160 for like this piece of artwork, which is essentially 5 different images, you know, so that's not bad at all. Full color, pencils and inks. Yeah, that's.
Yep. I know they're going to a good home. I'm gonna miss those comic strips. Like a little bit of me is just like, damn it, I shouldn't have did that. But
yeah, well, it's kind of good to that it's going to a fan, you know.
Yeah.
Is this the first comic you've ever done, or is it?
I've done like my first legitimate comic, which I stepped out and was like on my own 100%. I've done like some collaborative stuff, like a short story that was written by somebody, and it was in like his he also owned a store where he sold t-shirt and fashion type shit. So it was like it was involved in a lookbook for his fashion designs and whatnot. And then what else? I did a short story for Rubber Chicken Comics over here in
yeah,
they had an anthology, like a Halloween anthology book, and I did a short story in that.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll have to go pick that up. I often go down to Rubber Chicken when they have like their crackhead sales, you know. I call them crackhead sales because they're like giving stuff away at crackhead prices down there.
Yeah,
but I did see that they had an anthology. I didn't look through it, but I'll check it out now. Now that I know that you did some stuff for it.
It was done a while back, but I'm pretty sure you could dig something up.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still, you know, like I've seen it a few times when I'm down there. So that's cool. Yeah, like I swear to God, I thought you were across the country for some reason.
Nope.
Like I thought you were in the West Coast for something. That's cool that you're right in our
backyard, Keith.
Yeah,
I know, right?
In the basement, yeah.
In the back, in the basement where I'm at. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Like if we, you know, normally we know a lot of people just from shows, but you haven't done shows, and you've. You know, so this is kind of cool. Like you're like an undiscovered talent for us. You know,
for sure.
Yeah, this stuff's great. Yeah, I can see the Garbage Pail Kids.
I was just gonna say that very much gave me Garbage Pail Kid feels.
Yeah, right, especially right there. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, this is cool, man. It looks awesome. I love the style of it, and I love that it's a villain too. Oh, this is cool. Like, is that like Polaroids?
Yep, it's right here actually. So it was done by the dude that did my video, the main dude.
Okay.
The 9 days of YouTube. So he did a little cool piece of art.
Hold on.
Cool.
Yeah. I love that.
And
so is that included in the campaign?
Yeah,
like,
so for a lot of earlier backers and stuff like that, you will get one of these.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Did you start fulfilling the campaign yet, or is it?
Your mama's so fat.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, I've not started fulfilling. My book is at the printers right now as we speak, and they should be done printing it soon. I should be getting a heads up when they mail it out. It is overseas, so it'll take like 30-35 days.
Yeah, it takes a little while to get that stuff.
Right.
What
so I pretty much got, besides the glow in the dark fake non-smokable crack rocks and the books itself. And so
all the the only perks that are open, because you've already hit your goal and then you've gone in demand, so the only thing open is just the book itself, and you could buy like a double one if you were going to share with somebody, or
you can say the title. I love it when people say the title. 2
balls, 1 package. I love it. It's great, man. How many pages is it?
It's I got the digital test print right here.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you sent me a video. We'll have to take a look at that too.
Yeah. So
that's a big book. What's the size on it?
9x12, the exact size that I drew the originals. So
really? Oh, that's cool.
Do nothing like that. It's 66 pages.
Oh wow,
that's a thick book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of full
and
story.
Big too. I like that. Like a very big graphic novel.
Yeah. And in that video I sent you, that was the updated photo print, or the updated print. So in that video, you'll see the nice shiny spot gloss. And then
this one right here, right? Do we need sound for this one?
I did put music to it, but it's like free for like YouTube users and all that shit. And even then, I put the title tags underneath it. But if you're kind of sketched out by it, like just
I'm not sketched out by that. But if I play the music, and we might get that echo again. Mm-hmm. But I guess if we're all quiet, we can do it.
If we don't say anything, right?
Yeah, right. Hang on.
I promise to be very quiet.
Let me see if I can get that. Hang on 1 sec. Let me go in here, paste it.
Just again.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Here, I got you on.
I like the logo you have on the wall there, Rich. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, my homie went to a Comic-Con that I could not attend, and he went and got that from Bisley and then gave it to me.
Cool.
And that's like, I love that prized possession. It's awesome.
Awesome.
That's so really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Bisley's he's chill too. He's a real fun guy to talk to.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, down to earth guy. Yep, really cool. Big ass dude.
Yeah, right. All right, let me play this now. All right, let's see. Nice.
Yeah, it was a little fuzzy quality, but I wanted to get across the point that you could see that nice, shiny goodness all up in the balls. So
shiny and fuzzy balls.
Yeah, and I know your campaign video is pretty cool too. So let me share that.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right, hang on. That one is really fun too. All right, here we go.
Awesome.
Welcome to Cat Shit Island, a toxic, radioactive nightmare. To survive the freaks, beasts, and games, balls.
Dreaming, love it, touch it, clutch it, shoot it, smoke it, snort it, fuck it. I be on another level. Call of Duty, took that metal. They so fruity, call it pebble. Make it bubble like a kettle. I'm so dope, I be illegal. People bring it back, they call it sequel. Treat it right, I be so equal. I'm so fly, I be like eagle. Just so cash, they say I'm regal. So mean that they say I'm evil. Walk around like I don't see them.
Rich Ayala's Roach Balls. Back it today on Indiegogo. Sully Cucaracha.
Oh man.
Roach,
now I want the cartoon.
Right?
That was awesome.
That was great. Like watching that too, another influence, and I wanted to bring up that maybe part of it is, were you influenced at all by like Jonan Vasquez? because there's a lot of like
the...
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and like Invader Zim kind of like totally like backgrounds and some of the grossness, you know.
It was definitely one of those dudes when it came across. I was like, you can do that type of shit. Like some of the shit he was saying, Johnny Homicidal Maniac.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it was like he didn't give a fuck, you know. It was like this is, you know, what's on my mind or what I think is funny or what bothers me, and you know that whole type of approach is just throwing all and everything in it, you know, with you.
Yep.
So I really, you know, definitely that was definitely another bit of this big mountain of influence that I've like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean that it shows through the product. Yeah, I'm gonna are you planning on keeping the campaign open for a while? Like,
it'll be up for a little bit. So I
good, because
at first I had an idea of when I was gonna shut it down, but then like a couple of homies like talked me out of it, and they're like, keep it going for a little bit, and I was like, all right,
you should.
As long as you have the books, just keep it open.
Yeah, and I think,
why not? It's just another place you can sell it, you know. And then you just post an update that it's done, and it'll ship right away or something, you know, once you have the books, and I think it'll be fine. You could actually start promoting it, you know, keep it open and while you work on number 2, you know.
Yeah, that's number 2 is being worked on like right now. I was just penciling pages before I hopped on in here with you guys, so.
Oh, great!
Right on.
I just want to keep it going.
When do you predict that you'll go live with that campaign?
Who knows? You know, like I do everything myself, so it's like you know, it takes a little bit, but I feel like I know how like I approached the first one. I'm hoping that, you know how it is as artists, like you get that speedy time crunch a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Like when you went through the whole steps of this whole routine. So like but definitely by like 2020, you know, next year. So they'll be like probably late into next year and shit, but there's something that, you know, I'll definitely start like promoting for and whatnot.
Yeah, but, great.
Yeah, shout out to 9 Days of YouTube who did that video, and Arrogant Ape who did the voiceover narration. Them two guys, like they're dynamic with what they do, and together they're amazing.
Oh, so who is it? I've heard of Arrogant Ape. I think I'm in one of the Twitter chats with him. And then who was the other guy?
He's a big supporter of like a lot of people. He's a good backer and an awesome dude. And the other dude is the 9 Days of YouTube. So he's done quite a few videos now since that, and like he's like all over the place. I feel like now.
So crazy. Did he do like the limited animation and all that stuff in your video? And
yeah, and then he added a lot of his own artwork in it too. So a lot of those like the letters that popped up and all the crazy numbers that was like a lot of his extra stuff.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's a really well done video. Like a really good. It's a perfect like 1 minute length, and it's like, you know, just shows you everything you need to know. Cat Shit Island, everything. Yeah. I love that. Cat Shit Island is great.
Yeah. There was
no start off with that.
Your shoulder, no directing type shit. He was he knew the type of style I like. He was like, "Hey, this." I was like, "Yo, that's dope. Do this too." He was like, "Yeah," and then I was like, "Use this music." He was like, "Awesome," and then gave me that, and I was like, "Dude, you're fucking amazing."
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about the music. What is that? It sounded familiar.
I just got that off upbeats.com or org or some shit like that. The same place I got the beat for that YouTube video you guys just also shot.
Oh, okay.
So it's like free to users and just like
it's great. You don't have to worry about getting struck, your channel getting struck for
using. The music's good too. So like that music sounded awesome. Reminded me like Run the Jewels type shit.
It fit right in.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, they're really weird with music on YouTube. Like like that Plastic City commercial I had. I had Welcome Back Kotter as the theme song for it, you know, like welcome back to the show kind of thing. And I got the, you know, like they flagged it for that. I'm like, who the hell is checking up on Welcome Back Kotter? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
Kotter money.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm stealing from Gabe Kaplan, or you know what I mean? Like, it's so bizarre. But I guess that'll be a good transition to check out what you're working on here, Jay. Let's take a look at your campaign here as well. Now this is a campaign, a tabletop game.
Yes, it's a tabletop roleplay game.
But based on your IP, which is Eden Park Tales.
Correct.
Which is like a fairy fantasy.
Right, it's modern day. Fairies and monsters exist, hiding in the shadows, doing their own things. They have their own agendas, politics, etc. And so basically what happened was I'm working on my comic series, Auburn Gray, And as Rich knows, and the rest of you know, the process of telling stories via indie comics is painfully slow.
Yes.
Because especially when you're doing your entire book all by yourself, it gets trickier because you don't have someone else making sure you get something done by certain dates, and then you get sidetracked with commission work or tattoos, or you just never. It's hard to get to. So I realized I had created this whole world, and I had so many different stories I wanted to tell in this world. So I did the really dumb thing because I thought it would save me time of creating a way to play in this world so that then everyone can generate stories immediately in this world, and actually live in this world.
And it would kind of it kind of like help them steer towards the books you've created already.
Right.
Once they're familiar with the property. So did you, so I'm fascinated by this. Did you always want to do a tabletop game?
No.
Or is it something that started being suggested to you, or something like that?
Go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say, I've heard Jay talk about this for a little bit now at conventions, and we always get together after shows, grab a drink, grab a bite, and he mentioned it. It's like it's really exciting to see it come together. Finally,
it's been great. So what kind of happened was, like, I used to play, and one of my favorites was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the RPG game, because I used to love creating my own mutants. But like, I love that. I played the old school D&D. I played a bunch of others, and I just, like, since college I haven't touched them. And it's 25 years later. Suddenly I was like, you know what? Like, D&D was getting popular again, and it just kind of popped in my head, like, what if this was an RPG? And then people were like, oh, you should make your homebrew system for D&D. I'm like, nope. I want to create a whole new system. So my goal was to make something that you can sit down at a noisy convention and still in about 10-15 minutes, everyone at the table knows how to play.
Okay.
So the idea is it's accessible for you to drag someone who doesn't usually play this kind of stuff in, but it still has so much stuff that the people that are hardcore have a lot to sink their teeth into. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So you're trying to find that balance.
Successful sessions at Saratoga Comic-Con where Jay had the game going live. Yeah. It was awesome to see it just all executed like in person,
Yeah, it's very cool. So when you said set up a new system, so you had to actually create a game, like create your own system from the ground up.
Yes. So the one thing I had already created was the world I wanted to exist in, because I had done that for my comic series.
Yeah.
So then it became, how do I create the system? Oh, and Rich, since you're a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, Jim Lawson, who's one of the original artists, actually did a lot of work for this book for me too.
I see it right here.
Some of his stuff there.
Oh,
very cool.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, that's a flex right there, huh?
Yeah, right. Right, that's really cool. What was I gonna say? So when did you create the game dynamics? Was it a couple of years ago?
Yeah, like about a year and a half ago, I finally sat down with my first set of playtesters, and I had my roots already kind of set up, and we just tried it, and it worked so well. I was on cloud 9 that day because I was like, this actually works. Like it's like when you finally fire up that car to see if it actually drives, the one you've been building in the garage for a year, and it actually, you turn the key and it actually revs the engine. You're like, you may have a little trouble with the speed and stuff like that, but it worked, and then it just became, like, right off the bat, like, the system itself made sense, and then it just became polishing the fuzzy areas of it, and then balancing the abilities, which became, that's obviously the toughest part when you have hundreds and hundreds of different abilities and you need to make sure that everybody's, equal on some level anyway.
Yeah.
Depending on what they decide to do with their characters.
Numbers are always the hard part, though, right?
I'm gonna put the playthrough on with no sound while we're talking, just
Sure.
so people can.
Yeah, my
see
video
that.
is very boring. I didn't have any funky people do. Basically, my video was I was already launching my Kickstarter, and I'm like, oh shit, I need a video. So I stopped off at a friend's place, and we just recorded something of me talking about the game.
Okay.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't have any fancy animation to it or anything.
This is what your campaign video that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is an actual game in session.
Oh, look, my name's spelled wrong. Yay!
Oh well, that's gonna happen. So, did these guys help you create the game, or did they just play test it with you?
I basically the playtesters are what helped me build the game. The guy on the left there in the blue hat, he was my official. He's like these three guys that are playing this with me right now are like they live RPGs and tabletop games. Like they know so much about so many games. They were such a great resource for me. But the one in the blue hat in particular sat down with the book. When we first did our first playtest, he came in with a stack of characters he had created.
Okay.
And he
just using your basic manual.
Right. He was using the PDF, and he just he came in with a stack of characters, and each one was to attempt to punch a hole in the system.
We need that, they do that with everything.
And he still does that because now, this is at Tabletop Games in Westport. They've been one of the biggest supporters of this game for me. They've been promoting it and sharing it with the other stores and stuff like that. And as a way of saying thank you, they are going to continue to be my guinea pigs. So we do a weekly session every Tuesday, 6:00. We have 7 people playing, and it's every week. And
have you run into any problems, or did you guys get all the bugs kind of worked out?
So at this point, it's a rare occasion I'll run into something that's maybe worded a little confusing. So I haven't printed the books yet, so it's easy to go back and adjust the text or tweak something when I'm like, all right, this ability is just like owning the whole game here. So let's tone this down a little bit.
Right. So now, do you feel like the game is at a finished point now, or will be, or?
Well, I think nature of this kind of a thing, it's never going to be finished. The rule book goes out, you can play in it, and then it's just going to be constantly adding things to it.
Gotcha. So kind of like when they release a video game and they still add patches afterwards because they figure out stuff isn't.
Yeah.
Or there's angles of the game that they don't see coming and they try to fix it.
And people always want something new. I mean, even with Magic the Gathering. Or
I was just gonna say that Magic is constantly.
It's great. Now you want the next one. You want the next piece.
Well, they're also closing things and closing old series and then bringing new stuff in, and so that's cool. I like that. And so with the campaign, do they is the basic package have everything you need to make it work?
Right. So you basically need the rule book. You need a set of 10-sided dice.
Okay.
And some paper, and that's pretty much everything you need to play.
Really?
Does it require a GM though, or can you just get a bunch of people together?
Somebody needs to run the game. Yeah, I mean, I have a friend that's working on a online option, and it may be able to handle some of it. But for example, I have an adventure which I have these short modules that I use for conventions. They take 2 to 3 hours, and in the tabletop role-playing game, 2 to 3 hours is very short. But one of them is actually infiltrating a mall. I thought of that when I was watching your trailer for Surrounded by Death there, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
So you're basically a group of monsters. I give you each a little background story on your character, and you're going together to this mall in order to eradicate. You're basically going on an assassination mission on a guy who's posing as a member of the mall security. But everyone has their own agendas, their own things going on. I've played the same exact campaign maybe 8 times now, and you would never know that it was the same.
Oh, okay.
Same one each time.
That's very
it goes
fun.
Completely different.
Okay.
That's cool.
Depending on
It's
how
got
people play the character.
replayability that way.
Yeah. So like
Very cool.
I love all these, like, it's almost like a multiverse thing. But like, here's the thing, and it's, you know, completely different every time. Somebody else comes out on top. Like, who'd have thought the leader would have been thrown perfect spiral at a moving truck, hits the wall of it and dies.
So, Johnny, weren't you working on a game too at some point, like a tabletop or something?
I was trying to collaborate with R.W. Martin on a game that
That's what it was. Yeah,
his game.
It's a game. His game is great.
It is great.
It's just like trying to work with him a little bit was difficult because we did.
You're kidding me.
He doesn't focus.
No, I don't want to say that about RW. He's a great guy, but trying to focus, we're like, okay, like I have.
Yeah, he's very ADD.
Very ADD. Yeah, there's a little bit of ADD. There's a little bit of like, I've got the idea. He's a big picture kind of guy, and the execution can be a little bit tough for him. And it's like, you can't work for free. You know, you got to be able to have some type of.
And he's got to stick with it. Like when he creates something, he's like, here's this. Oh, what's this over here? And it's like,
that's the ADD. You know.
Love R.W. Martin, one of the best.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. Great ideas.
Great guy. He's a very good big picture guy. When it comes down to the nitty gritty, it's a little bit different story.
Yeah.
I don't fault him for it. I think he's wonderful.
Rich, would you ever create a Roach Balls tabletop game?
Yeah, I'd be down for something. I've got so many like ideas up here and shit, and it's like, and even talking with the homie like Aerith, Brian. And stuff. That guy's like a mastermind with stuff. So like, him talking about stuff, and then like,
Aerith,
my mind going, and I'm like, oh, I could do like one of the major things I want to do is some type of like doll or figure. But if I did like some type of doll, it'd be like remember the old school like My Buddy type monsters where they had the football game with the chains and shit like that.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
I'd want to do something like that. But definitely do something with like a game or some shit. The last time I played Dungeons and Dragons, which I did, it was my second time, and this was like last year or some shit like that. And I wanted to be my character, but my friend just wasn't having it and stuff. So it was like, I want to be Sully Cucaracha, and like in some weird Dungeons and Dragons
in
type
this game, it's all about the character. Like it is like that's why every single time we play the same exact adventure, it's completely different because it's like I let him go. Like I'm ready to roll with the punches.
So you could plug any character in just about to the game.
So when I created it, I made sure every single superhero I could think of. I made a list of every single superhero I could possibly think of, all the X-Men I could come up with, every character. I made sure there was a way you could build that character in this game.
Really?
Like ways of mixing abilities to create the same effect as abilities they have.
And your like tagline is "You are the monster." So what is so? Are you the bad guy in the game? Or?
Usually, so like Rich, my favorite things were villains, monsters. Some of my favorite animated movies back in the day were like Secret of Nim, all those glowing eye rats and the owl and all that kind of stuff.
This is a great comment
idea,
for Rich. Mad Balls type for Roach Balls? That would be fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Mad
Balls.
Yeah.
I love Mad Balls.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's like just what a molded like soft ball or something. If you can figure out how to
ball with boogers on it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just
This is where we
Sully's
get
head.
Tim Clark in, right?
Yeah.
The Boglins,
Sully's head is a mad ball. It'd be fantastic. Yeah.
If I ever did type of product placement, anything, it would definitely be geared towards, like said earlier, like 80s, 90s type of mentality type. And
product. I feel like you're getting the garbage pail comparison. You should probably make a sticker of that, like as Sully is like a garbage pail kid. Do you have one?
Ink spots.
Oh really? Oh, let me see that. That's cool.
Great.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect. It looks exactly like
I would assume
a card in the series.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool,
the homie
man.
Ink Spots drew this, and then once again, the homie Dying Days of YouTube who did that other piece of art in the video. He came through and then hit it up with all the graphics.
Yeah,
now,
it's
it
awesome.
does have like some little sticker type thing going on, but there's like a special surprise on the back. So you have to get this in order to see it and shit. And
okay.
And shit, so I can't just give away that.
Yeah. I love it. So you're already thinking ahead doing that stuff. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You could almost do like a Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, almost.
With like all like gross parts.
Yeah, it'd be pretty funky, But like if I had the doll version, you'd be able to store like all a bunch of different types of shit. So like if Sully was existing in your tabletop game, he'd have to have the ability where he can just pull like any type of low level street weapon out of his jacket and
so I have
stabbing or bludgeoning.
One of the characters right in the current campaign that I'm running weekly, he's playing a leprechaun that stole an Elvis suit off a doll. So he has a purple crushed velvet Elvis suit and his magical hat. Once every session, I let him pull a random thing out of it. I have a chart of 100 things, and it's always like the most random crap. He's like, "All right, guys, before we do anything, I'm gonna pull something from the hat."
Nice.
That's great.
That's awesome.
See, if I could have it my way, I'd make it so that the Cucaracha character would basically be like a stash box, right? So like you could pull like rolling papers from his chest.
Yeah.
One of his arms would be a roach clip, right?
Yeah.
And you could just, he'd be like a little drug demon. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, if it was a doll, like anybody, if you were a kid, you shouldn't be having that doll if you're a kid, but you could store like little innocent, cool toys and candies in it.
Yeah, there's enough toys for adults now.
Right.
Yeah, right.
You can
Totally
store your stash, stabbing stuff.
I used to store my weed in the chest of my old Voltron.
Did you really?
Boy, when your mom sold that at a yard sale, someone got a big surprise.
Yeah, right.
That's where that ounce went.
It changed that person's life forever.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome. So Jay, so what is there a game besides, or is Dungeons and Dragons the closest you would compare Fae to, or is there?
Well, there's a whole bunch of them, but that's the one I think most people are familiar with.
Okay, so it is sort of like it has its
same
roots
kind of
in
thing
role
you
playing.
You create your character.
Yeah.
But it's not as combat heavy. Like Dungeons and Dragons, it's about fighting monsters and getting experience for fighting them.
And then you have your stats, and then like that
and so in
affects
this, you
the
have your
rolls and
stats.
everything.
You have your stats, because obviously to roll off for things, but it's far more roleplay heavy.
Okay.
It's about playing your character first. Combat is second, because most of the time combat is quick, sloppy, and if you get into just a regular old fight, the thing with like the troll's gonna smash you. I mean, it's just the way it's gonna be. You got to come up with something else because you're not going to be able to like get into a slap fight with them and win.
Gotcha. So any comic creator could bring their character into it essentially if they create it.
Yeah, I delved into everything I could possibly think of. I even looked at your Mighty Mascots and stuff.
Wow, look at that.
You could use this game system to make anyone, like even Roach Balls. Like I'm already thinking what race. Like maybe obviously he wouldn't be necessarily a cockroach, but he could look like He could be an imp. It's one of the races, which are just they think they're so evil, but they're really not. They're like General K. What's his name? Butters' character from South Park.
General Lord Chaos.
Yeah, he thinks they think they're absolutely the most evil things in the world, but they're like actually one of the most harmless. Like they're just nasty.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that, Jay. It's kind of fun. Like, and you said the game like is a quick game, right? You can play a full game in like an hour.
Well, I have a short adventures set up for conventions and stuff.
Okay.
But ultimately, it's the kind of thing where you create a character, and like once you really create your own character, you get together however frequently with everybody, and you just keep the story going, and you create your own. So the whole idea
you can go as long as like a Dungeons and Dragons session if you want.
Yeah, you can go indefinitely.
Gotcha. What tier would you like suggest for people like if they wanted to check your game out?
Premium tier.
Top tier. If you scroll down, there's actually graphics with the tiers in the middle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me take a look.
I went top
right
tier.
here. Yeah.
So you get a PDF copy of the game if you just do the $15 level.
Yeah.
But is this the basic? So wait,
that gives you enough information to make a character and play a character. It doesn't give you the entire game.
Gotcha. So is the $50 tier?
$50 is the full book. It's about right now. It's actually I don't know how many pages anymore because we've hit so many stretch goals that I have to add to it. But it's probably somewhere in the 300 page.
So to
Size-wise?
effectively play this game, you would probably want to do the $50.
Someone needs to have that book.
Okay, gotcha. And
You
then
don't have to have anything else, but someone needs to have that book.
and in this 100 one, you get dice and stuff, but you can get dice anywhere, right? Like
So with
Yeah,
this
but
one
those
here,
dice are cool.
they are
very
cool. Yeah, I saw the.
So with that set there, you're getting the one full book, and then you're getting a couple of players' guides. So you can basically be like, here's the book for the guy running the game, and here's the players' guides for the people that are in the game. So you guys have your references. It's kind of a like put together your own group right off the bat, kind of a.
Do you get this Game Master screen too, or is that an add-on?
That's an add-on.
Okay. You don't need this, but it also is like
I
something
have
that
to go back
helps.
for
Yeah,
that.
it
I
looks
want
cool,
that
you
too.
know.
Yeah,
Well,
it's cool. Makes
actually-
it more legit,
Yeah, actually, I just started putting one together. 1 second, I'm just gonna grab it.
Let's look at his blank
What I
studio.
wanted to put on the
Yeah.
screen.
Look at that artwork in the background. Look at that
I know.
big
And the
painting
puppet.
he's got.
Yeah,
It's
very
so
cool.
crazy. He's got the puppet.
Look at that awesome Universal shirt he's got
Yeah,
too.
sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids called drip
So-
nowadays.
So I
You got
started
that
working
drip.
on the inside
Yeah.
of the thing.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow. So that.
Whoa.
Oh, so
you
what?
got, you got
I
like,
want
quick
that
references.
now. I'm gonna add that to my pledge.
So is that new, Jay? Is that something you just added?
Yes, I actually started putting it together yesterday. So this is.
Oh, wow.
It's all dry erase.
What's the
Well,
other
you
side?
figure-
Is it just the Fae?
It's going to be right now it's blank, but it's going to
Okay.
have the graphic.
It's going to
from
be
the
this
image.
graphic we're seeing on the campaign.
Right. I might change
Gotcha.
it some, but there'll be something graphical. On
Very
the
cool,
side.
dude.
And
Very
then, like I
cool.
said, the dry erase. So the whole idea is you can actually the guy running the game can keep track of everything on the charts, and then it simplifies it for the guy running the game.
Awesome, man. And
Very cool.
what
I
were
got
you
a
going to
quick
say?
question for you, Jay. My bad
Yeah.
for interrupting real quick. But how
Yeah.
would say once again, not to focus it on like Sully real quick, like he's hard to kill. Naturally, he's kind of like,
So,
Roach type thing.
One of
How
the
would
nice
that
things
work?
about Fae is that in this Fae creatures don't die when they get defeated, unless you consciously kill them after the fact. You get as in this game, all the Fae creatures are enhanced by the elements. That's kind of where they get their powers.
Yeah.
But if you kill one, you're basically insulting the elements that gave them the powers to begin with.
Yeah.
So you actually lose power by slaying another Fae creature. So a lot of times you take them down you knock them unconscious, but unless you definitely don't want them coming back, you got to do something with them, because they're gonna wake up in an hour,
Right. But that's gonna cost you. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like,
Alright.
is it worth it? Always playing that game with yourself. Like,
Oh,
do I
okay,
take the
that's
hit?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Cool
Jay,
that you
quick
make
question.
hard
Oh.
decisions,
Yeah. Quick question. So, like, people that have never played Dungeons and Dragons, how easy is it to pick up?
At a convention, and you know what it's like at a convention when you sit down at a table. So far, every person who's played this has never played it before, and a lot of them have never played any role-play games before.
Okay.
It takes about 10-15 minutes for them
To
to
learn
fully
it.
understand.
Okay.
So when I say, all right, everyone do this, they might quickly check with somebody, wait, which die is that? That one? Okay, yeah, and they'll throw it. But it's very intuitive. Once you understand the basic rule of the dice, it's universal for every ability.
Okay.
That suddenly you can look right at the ability and you know exactly what it does. I wanted it to be completely accessible. Basically, as long as you're old enough to read, you should be able to follow this game.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
it
what I was
takes-
looking for, too.
It
Like,
takes somebody to either play it with someone else to get it first, or at least be game savvy enough to sit down with the book to get
Okay.
it, because the person running it should, be able to pick up a little bit more than the players.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is with any of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But honestly, if you got somebody that knows how to play in about 10-15 minutes, everybody at the table will know how to play. Unless
Awesome.
you're on your phone the whole time or something. But
yeah, right. Not paying attention or.
But did
And
you
then-
find that during those sessions you had people straying and looking at their phone?
only if the session was going really, really long. Like I try to keep it's hard to gauge how long it's going to take because it's based on how the players play.
Okay.
But there's been a couple times when we've hit hour 4, and people are like, I'm like missing the whole convention because I'm trying to come up with a way of wrapping it up right here. You're like
Yeah, you should probably try to get the sessions down to like half hour or an hour if you can. Like I know that's tough, but
an hour is really tough because you're basically just going to have like
because you have like half of that is just learning the game, and then
So I basically the adventures I've made mini versions of them. I've just gotten rid of the stuff in the middle, and it's like, all right, it's kind of just the get there,
cut to the chase kind of thing. Yeah.
And so I'll give people the option at events, like, do we want to do the quick version or the full version? And so far everybody's always like the full. I'm like, 3 hours if you guys behave yourselves. That's okay. All right. And behave yourselves in this game is completely different than real life behaving yourselves. You're playing monsters, so you can be helpful monsters, but most of the time, Amy, I've used that one already. Did you see my Happy Father's Day?
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. That's great. Awesome. Well, that's good. I like to hear that because, I think that's part of the key to selling the game is it's going to be open for new people that have never touched role playing,
right? And
also, challenging enough for people that do know role playing. So right. I think you've kind of hit all those levels, which is great. How are you going to be still doing your Autumn Gray as well on the side, or is it that going to be a little more slow going?
Oh, it's been slow going since I started this whole RPG.
Yeah, I imagine.
But obviously, the Kickstarter ends in 2 more weeks.
Okay.
What am I at now? 170, 180%. I'm hoping I have a certain goal I'd love to get to, which then converts all the books to hardcover. So,
oh wow, okay.
I'm pushing for that. I don't know if we'll make it there, but
you did well though. You hit this goal almost immediately, right?
Yeah,
within a week or two.
I was scared after some disastrous Kickstarters in the past.
Yeah.
But as soon as I launched this thing, I was just sitting there. When you look at the Kickstarter and it auto updates, and you just see the number going up, you're like, oh my god. Right. I was very sad when it slowed down. But for a while there, I was like, if this just kept going, right.
No, that's good. I think you probably were smart to put this on Kickstarter. It seems to be a lot of fantasy stuff on there. I think this was probably a smart move.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure how this would have done on Indiegogo, honestly. I don't see a lot of board games and stuff on there.
What I'm planning on doing, I was actually mentioning it before we started this, so once the game's out there, I'm going to start releasing supplements and I'm even thinking for conventions, like any convention in the Boston area, I'll have a book of Boston because it takes place in the modern human world, and it's just it's like the underworld of creatures, and so I'll do a map of Boston and talk about different places where things are lurking or Providence, or
that's cool.
Or maybe I'll do both of them in the same book, just do a New England book.
That's dope.
It'd be cool, weird New England, those books.
That kind of thing. I could do a San Diego. So this also I did my first gaming convention, which is so different than a Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, I mean, people just go there to play games all day, basically.
Right, and there, they expect 3 to 4 hours at each session.
Yeah, I would hate to be a vendor at that show because it's it's just an empty hall,
Well, you get away.
How much time do you have to actually put in to get that?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's like going to.
It's just it's a whole different world, and I'm just starting to open the door to that. So
that's cool. It opens doors for you there. You might be able to sell some comics there too.
Well, I'll tell you, I've sold
crossover audience.
Since I started Faye.
What's that?
I've sold far more Autumn Gray.
Good.
I can't keep Autumn Gray on the shelf now that the game's there.
Good.
Man. It
is a good book. I've told you that.
Thank you.
And I just wasn't blowing smoke up your butt. I think it's actually a good book. I
figured if you hated it, you probably just never would have mentioned that you read it.
Yeah, I would just say, it was pretty good.
And I know
Jay.
Amy doesn't throw any punches. She'll tell you straight out, and she.
Oh yeah. Or if you don't hear from her, same thing. But yeah, I've often told people it reminded me of Fables a lot. The Vertigo comic.
I
It's
actually
got
went and
that
read
kind
that
of
after
quality
the fact.
to it. But that's what it felt like to me. So that's a high compliment, which is one of my favorite Vertigo series. So, but yeah, no, I love Autumn Gray. What issue are you on now?
9.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
I forget where I stopped. I think it was like maybe 7.
I think I sent you the PDF for 8. I did 8
Maybe,
when the pandemic
maybe.
started.
I'd have to look back in my collection and see.
I think that's where you were at when we did our first episode.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And then I've spent the last 2 years making this.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's just like it's a nice detour that will help Autumn Gray. You know.
Right.
eventually,
They'll help
you
each
know,
other. It's.
Yeah. And you can keep adding to the game, like you said, every year. Do
Yeah,
something.
I have other authors
Or
that want
you
to
could
write things for the game, and
Hell, you could do a crowdfunding campaign for both
yeah,
Autumn Gray and here's the next supplemental book together.
yep.
You know.
Well, they already unlocked Autumn Gray in this game.
Yeah, there you go.
Autumn Gray characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. So start bringing, like get a free copy, digital copies, stuff like that to kind of build that audience.
Those characters were stretch goals, Jay?
What?
Those
Autumn
characters were stretch goals?
Yeah, it was one of the early on stretch goals because I was thinking of putting them there anyway. I've already kind of started putting them together, so it was a no-brainer to be like, all right, I'm introducing Autumn Gray to the game. That's what we just unlocked.
Nice.
Very awesome. All right, I'm gonna start wrapping things up. We've been going for 90 minutes now, which is crazy.
We're right
it's like
by.
we get right in there. We start talking, and first I'm gonna share some links in the chat here real quick, though. Also, if you guys want to back both these creators, the description of the video has links to their Indiegogo and Kickstarter. So first off, I'm going to post a link here in the chat for Roach Balls, the comic by
Which
Rich
I'll be
Ayala.
clicking on right after this. Don't you worry. Rich.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, Rich,
That's
I'll be
awesome.
getting
I'm
this
super
before
excited.
it goes away. Definitely.
I cheated and bidded while we were in the middle of all this.
Did you really? So let me see. What were we at?
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
You got it, man. I'm looking forward
You're at
to it. I can't wait.
15,905 now. I don't know what was it. Yeah, you're so close to 16, man.
Yeah,
You'll
Not
get
so
there.
awesome for the first time.
Yeah, right. That's really good, man.
Yeah,
This is your first campaign, right? The first one you've ever done. Wow.
Support's
Good
been
job,
unreal,
man.
The support has been unreal. So
Yeah, it's been great. And then let me share Jay's link here as well. So if you're looking for a new RPG that's easy to play,
that sounds
You
fun.
can be as maniacal as you want.
yeah, and you are the monster in it, which is great. And Jay's a great creator too. So if you do get the game, I recommend at least slapping on the first trade paperback for Autumn Gray as well, so you can get caught up in that universe. Johnny, you've read some Autumn Gray, right?
Yeah, I was lucky. My girlfriend at the time bought all Jay's stuff, so I was
Okay.
able to just read all of her copies.
Oh,
I
nice.
eventually have to buy my own copies now, but
You're waiting for the second trade for the second half, aren't you, John?
yeah.
I thought he was gonna follow up with, and I kept it, and I never gave it back to her.
Yeah.
That's when they broke up.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. And was going to say, I do that often with Amy too, because Amy buys a lot of Indiegogos, and we kind of coordinate. Like, oh, you got this one, all right, I won't get that one, and I'll read hers. And
Very cool.
it's a good way for us to get a bunch of stuff, and not have
And only
double
feel half
dip.
as guilty.
Yeah, exactly. So that always helps, So as we start to wrap up, Rich, where can people find you? Where?
Besides the Indiegogo, you can find me on the Twitter. You can find me at Art of Rich Ayala on the Instagram. You can find me as Rich Ayala on Facebook. But mostly you can follow me every Saturday. I'm on Comics Way. That's Way with Guey. And that's a YouTube show every Saturday. I'm there with Ollie from 656, Brian from Eris Saga, B Rose from Cerebrum, Oasi.
Wow.
And HP and Juanito. So it's like a whole gang of brown faces and one white dude, Green X. So
wow. I love Oliver from 656. I love Brian too from
yeah,
Eric.
he's the man. Oh, besides
Yeah,
that,
we
I just
got
want to
Brian
say
on
real
twice.
quick, Oliver, the 656, they actually have a campaign out now So if you Dead Stop, Tour of Terror, it's awesome. I did a cover for it, but it's
cool. They're gonna.
anthology.
I think they're coming on
Next
next week or the week after. They're coming on the
next
show.
week's Peter.
Yeah.
The week after next is them.
Is them. Okay, great. Yeah. So they'll be on. We had them on a couple, like, 3-4 months ago with Kryptonals.
Yeah.
And those guys are off the chain.
Awesome.
So funny. So
great
funny.
Show, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. We had a blast with them, so I can't wait for them to come back. And then, all right, so yeah, check that out. Jay, where can people find you?
Facebook, Instagram, Jay Mooers. Thanks to my last name being spelled a little weird, it's easy to find me. YouTube as well. Obviously, I'm on Kickstarter right now with Faye. You can also go to my website, EdenParkTales.com, which has been poorly updated. I believe it's still talking about the release of Autumn Grey 8 from 2 years ago. But Faye will be on there once I finish the campaign anyway.
My wife is saying your tattoo work is awesome, Rich.
Oh, thank
She
you.
just followed you.
Yeah, I kind of want a Rich Ayala tattoo now.
Yeah.
We're in the area and shit, so
Yeah, I know. You could go down there. That would be awesome, Jay. Go get, or Johnny, go get a Sully Cucaracha right on,
I know. Well, I have a cover up I need done, so I can.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I actually do cover-ups too, so depending on what you're trying to cover up, because not all of them can be
small
covered
initials,
up.
You can easily do it.
Awesome. Well,
kitty litter.
Yeah. Yeah, and Rich, if you if you need any advice about Comic-Cons, come to either all three of us. We can let you know what shows are junk.
We'll
What's
bore you to death with comic.
Yeah, we could
knowledge.
easily bore you to death.
I actually can't wait to get to that. It's all levels and baby steps.
It is.
Like,
It is.
Like a few levels up. So I'm like, I can't wait till I get there. And when I do, like,
how well your Kickstarter's done, I think you're definitely ready to jump right into comics.
Yeah, I think you are, and your style's very cool. I think it would stand
and you have
out.
lots of extra fun things with it. I think you're ready to go. If you can just maybe get a sculpture made of the main character or something like that, might.
Well, the plan is to get a very aggressive dwarf with a record and just have him dress up as Sully and go to the cons and just like push people out.
Dwarf with a record.
You mean like a record, like, or you
no, like
a lengthy record, one behind bars.
Yeah. Someone that's not afraid to get in people's faces.
DJ back in the day. DJ.
You never know.
Yeah, he can also be a DJ too, but
yeah. Awesome, Johnny. How about you? Anything going on in your neck of the woods? Any campaigns?
You can currently find me on the ceiling. But my next show is gonna be Plastic City.
Yeah,
and that's in a couple of weeks. So I'll see you guys there. I just released an update on the Surrounded by Death campaign.
Oh, okay.
The very few people that are still waiting on their fulfillment, go there, find out what's going on. Go claim your Global Comics free credit for Surrounded by Death. I actually gave a reminder of that. Speaking of which, I'll have to talk to you after the show, but Global Comics is rolling out a really cool feature soon. Cool. It's coming out in August where you can now do your digital fulfillment right through their platform.
Oh, wow.
Something I've asked for forever. So maybe we might be able to get them on the show in the near future to promote that and show off this new feature.
Yeah, we haven't talked to them in a while, so it might be something to do.
It'd be cool to have them boomerang back around.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and I was rejected from New York Comic Con.
I heard. Well,
so that's all that's new with me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I forget. Did you get in last year? Did you get in?
I piggybacked off my good friend Jeff Ryder last year.
Okay. So I'm gonna say now that things are the pandemic's off, they're like back to their old ways. Before it's where it's tough to get in.
So in communication with Reed Pop, they told me they got 8 times the applications they did.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Times more. That's baffling.
Yeah, that's like people are trying to catch up on 2 years not going, so it's going to be fucking nuts. I imagine like the the small press is going to be just as bad. So there could be a chance I don't get in this year too.
Oh, you're always there, dude. I doubt it.
Well, I hope. I have a new rep this year. You know, like when that happens, I get a little worried about that stuff. Like, but we'll see. If I don't get in, I don't get in. You know, big deal.
Right,
like there's a million other shows. So.
I save a trip to New York. That's all.
Right. I save
money.
What,
we'll
$1,500 in
Sit
expenses.
there and complain about New York.
What's that?
Yeah.
Complain about New York.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Anything else, Johnny, before we wrap up?
Thank the guests. Thank you, Jay, for coming on. Thank you, Rich, for coming on. I pledge both on your projects. Can't wait to get them in my hands. And everybody just be excellent to each other.
Awesome. Good words of advice. For me, like, just check out Mighty Mascots, the pre-launch on Indiegogo. That's live now. I'll share the link in the chat. Sign up.
Call it pre-lunch.
Pre-lunch, right? I know. I should call it pre-lunch, actually. It actually would play into my comic pretty well. And if you guys heard at the top of the show, the sticker that I'll be giving away for free if you sign up and make a purchase is going to be a riff on the whole take a bite out of crime, McGruff the crime dog thing, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, and I can't wait to get these issues out to you guys. I'm already starting them now. I put a year out, to do 3 issues, but I'm hoping to deliver much earlier than a year. So we'll see, see how that goes. And then also Plastic City. I will see Johnny and Jay there. Maybe someday we'll see Rich there as well. Sure. And we forgot to mention, Jay, you'll be doing demos of Faye at your booth at Plastic City as well. So if you guys go into Plastic City Comic-Con, set aside a few hours to sit down with Jay and check out this game. And by then, it'll probably be off Kickstarter, I would imagine.
Yeah, it'll be off Kickstarter by then, but I'll either keep it open for late orders or I will be launching additional stuff after the fact. And there are a lot of
so at least they can play it and maybe catch the next campaign, right?
And there are I'll have a list of hobby shops in the area that are going to be carrying the books.
Very cool. Awesome. Cool. All right, so that's July 16th, $10 admission. Cheapest convention and the biggest and cheapest convention you will find in the area. Kids 12 and under free parking, so definitely join us for that. That's about it for this week, fellas. So, if any last words before we close out this episode?
I'll see you guys in 2 years.
I'll put you right in the green room right now. We'll pick you up in 2 years.
Thanks, guys. I could really use that water too.
Yeah, right. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great week, like Johnny said, and read some comics. We'll talk to you soon. All right, bye. Bye, everybody.